Before we hop into today's NFL trade rumors, I want you to let me know what your favorite part of the offseason is. Is it the draft? Is it free agency? Or is it the trades? For me, I am a sucker for the draft, but I absolutely love when trades go down. It shakes things up, and it really helps let fans know what could go down in the season. Gets people excited, gets people riled up, and it's so much fun. So get in the comments section, type D for draft, FA for free agency, or T for trade. And as for what we're diving into today's show, Stefon Diggs just got dealt to the Houston Texans. So I wanted to just talk about a few players that could be traded next after this blockbuster trade went down. But let's take a look at the trade details for those of you who may have missed it. Stefon Diggs is headed from Buffalo to Houston for a 2025 second-round pick that they actually got from the Vikings when they originally traded Stefon Diggs. Now, the Texans are getting the wide receiver. They're also getting a 2024 sixth-round pick, and on top of that, a 2025 fifth-round pick. And in terms of why this was able to go down, interesting note here, Stefon Diggs will be a free agent after this season. In the 2025 offseason, Stefon Diggs will be a free agent. He took they agreed to a one-year deal, so that way Stefon Diggs can get more guaranteed money this year, but also have a chance to make more money next year. Also helps the Texans have a little bit more cap flexibility. And to be honest, I did not see this Diggs trade going down. I really didn't. I thought that the Texans had a really good offseason so far. Kind of figured that they were just going to be chilling until the draft and make something happen, maybe trade up, maybe make a move then. But I did not expect this Stefon Diggs trade to go down. And if you agree with me, give me a me in the comments section. But let's talk about some trade rumors that could happen here very, very soon. Brandon Aiyuk is a hot commodity and a hot topic in the NFL rumor mill. And in terms of some destinations that I could see Brandon Aiyuk ending up with, the Buffalo Bills. For obvious reasons, Buffalo just traded away their number one wide receiver. They need players. They don't have Gabe Davis anymore. They don't have Stefon Diggs. Dawson Knox is a good tight end. However, I think that they need a wide receiver. Kansas City, Rashee Rice, need I say more? Also, you just need pass catchers in Kansas City. They won a Super Bowl without them, but I don't think you want to play with fire too many times. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they've just been so active, and I could see them being interested in adding another dynamic pass catcher for Justin Fields / Russell Wilson. And the New England Patriots, I mean, who the hell is their wide receiver one? Go get him a wide receiver. Go get him some help because they also have some decent trade. They have a decent trade package and something decent to offer with a very prime draft pick. But I do think that Brandon Aiyuk is going to stick around in San Francisco. And if I was the 49ers general manager, John Lynch, I'd do everything in my power to keep him around. Don't shoot the messenger. I think Brandon Aiyuk is a much better receiver than Deebo Samuel. What I did not say is I think Brandon Aiyuk is a better offensive weapon than Deebo Samuel. I just think he's a better wide receiver. So if I'm the 49ers, I'm doing everything I can to keep Brandon Aiyuk and Brock Purdy and that connection together for as long as possible. Now let's talk about another wide receiver, Tee Higgins. He's been stirring up some trade rumors for quite some time now. He did request a trade from Cincinnati. And in terms of some places I could see him ending up, Buffalo, for the same exact reason as Brandon Aiyuk. They need wide receivers. The Giants, they're also in the market for a wide receiver, and they could offer some pretty nice draft cap or trade compensation. The Patriots, we mentioned them already, same reasons. And then the Carolina Panthers, I just think Bryce Young needs all the help that they can get. He needs wide receivers. He needs offensive line. So at the end of the day, they just need everything. But I think that Tee Higgins to Carolina could be a really, really good move for the Panthers, and I think that that can make them competitors in a weak NFC South. But taking a look at the two wide receivers side by side, I mean, the numbers heavily favor Brandon Aiyuk. But I want to point one thing out here. It's not like Tee Higgins is your bona fide wide receiver one. Now, granted, Brandon Aiyuk has to split a lot of time with George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, a bunch of other offensive weapons out in San Francisco. But I do think that Brandon Aiyuk is the better wide receiver, and I think that Tee Higgins can still provide a really solid offensive performance for a team that needs pass catchers. But I want you to pick a wide receiver for me. If you were the GM of your favorite team, which one of these guys are you going for? Just type 1 for Brandon Aiyuk, give me a 2 for Tee Higgins, and let me know down in the comment section, and I'll be interacting with you down in the comments as well. So coming up, we're going to be discussing a quarterback that could get traded. Always shakes things up a little bit. But before we do, got to give a special shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's video and making NFL Daily possible today. Now, Game Time, if you're unaware of who they are, it's a ticketing app, and it is the best ticketing app in the whole wide world. Now, they offer the best seats for the lowest price, guaranteed. Who likes a guarantee? Because I do. Not a lot of things in life are guaranteed, but Prize Picks is making you one. The prices can drop as the events get closer. They have flash deals, they have zone deals, they have all these cool things, but it's such a user-friendly app as well. You can just download the app, use our promo code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off, meaning when you go and buy tickets to your next concert, comedy show, sporting event, whatever, basically you got a $20 voucher on us. Meaning you can go take that $20, buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, go buy yourself a beer, get a little bit of nicer tickets maybe. That's another option too. But I don't care what you do as long as you do it on the Game Time app and you use our promo code CHATSPORTS. That's promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Terms do apply. Use our promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's video. It's last-minute tickets, lowest price. Guaranteed. All right, so Zack Wilson is the quarterback that I wanted to discuss in today's video, and I think that he is a player that, let's call a spade a spade. He didn't get dealt a good hand. It's not like he's been really, really good for New York, but it's also not like he got dealt an extraordinary situation. Now, in terms of some destinations for Zack Wilson, CBS actually listed the New Orleans Saints as a destination. I do think that the Saints could be in the market for a quarterback too, but they did trade up last year to select Jake Haener, who was the Senior Bowl MVP out of Fresno State. The Denver Broncos, you really want to roll a Jarrett Stidham? Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night. The Minnesota Vikings, if for whatever reason they can't get to J.J. McCarthy or Drake May, or they can't take one of their top draft targets at a quarterback position, maybe Zack Wilson is a guy that Kevin O'Connell would bank on, because I think that whoever does go to Minnesota is going to be put in a good situation where Kevin O'Connell's an offensive-minded coach that's really, really smart, and then you have a plethora of weapons in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones at running back. But the Baltimore Ravens, they don't have Tyler Huntley around. They have Josh Johnson as their backup quarterback, so maybe they're looking for a little bit more of a polished and better quality player. But here's what CBS Sports had to say about Zack Wilson specifically. There isn't exactly a strong market for a former top 3 pick whose erratic quarterback play resulted in multiple demotions. But at just 24 years old, with dual threat traits, Zack Wilson could be a low-risk reclamation project or a contender. The return would almost certainly not exceed that which the Bears or Patriots got for Justin Fields and Mac Jones respectively. But one thing's for sure, the Jets have had their fill with the aging but superior Aaron Rodgers, once again back in the saddle. Now, Zack Wilson has had a rocky career. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for him. I'm not going to sit here and say that he deserves to be a starting quarterback in this league. But I think that he could be a high-level QB too. And to be honest, using a top 3 pick on a QB2 is never a good idea. But who would have thunk that Zack Wilson would have been this bad? I mean, everyone was fooled by his pro day video. Everyone was fooled by the hype the hype around him coming out of BYU. But the career, it just has not panned out the way that a top 3 pick should go. Now, I want you to join our family here at Chat Sports by subscribing today. We provide NFL, NBA, college football, and we're even starting to get you some Seams coverage as well. So if you're a Seam head and you love baseball, I encourage you to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can know whenever we go live, whenever we post short-form content, or whenever we put out any of our on-demand videos. Now, the last player I want to discuss is Marshon Lattimore, a.k.a. Mike Evans' daddy, because he is a name that's been red hot around trade rumors for a couple years now. Now, in terms of where Marshon Lattimore could go, the San Francisco 49ers, they could use some cornerback help. So could the Baltimore Ravens. The Las Vegas Raiders, they got a good defense, but Antonio Pierce could look to try and make that a great defense by bringing in one of the top cornerbacks in the league. And on top of that, the Cincinnati Bengals, they could look to boost their defensive side of the ball as well. Now, Marshon Lattimore, he is an interesting topic of discussion because when he's healthy, he is truly one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. That is not something I'm willing to argue with. If you disagree, you can argue with a brick wall. But Marshon Lattimore has had a really tough time staying on the field the last couple of seasons. But you see the numbers on your screen. Whenever he's on the field, he can still play at a really, really high level. Now, the former first-round pick out of Ohio State could get dealt, and there's a handful of reasons why. Now, the New Orleans Saints are always up against the cap, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to figure it out. Every single year, the Saints find themselves in cap hell. And every single year, they find themselves well over the salary or under the salary cap. They have money to spend. Now, Jeremy Fowler does think that he is available, or he has reported that teams think that he is available. And everything I've seen around the New Orleans Saints and Mickey Loomis and Marshon Lattimore, the Saints GM, Mickey Loomis, did say that they have not gotten an offer that they can't refuse. And I believe that that's what's going to take, or that's what it's going to take to move on from Lattimore. The big issue, like I said, he's only played in 17 games the last 2 years. It hasn't been ideal. You want somebody to be on the field because the best ability is availability. However, he's still just 27. He's on the right side of 30, and he could still be a really good football player for a team that needs a true cornerback, especially a solid veteran presence. But he did stay healthy in his career prior to the 2022 season. He was able to play a lot of snaps and log a lot of production for the New Orleans Saints down in the Bayou, and that is just a handful of reasons why I think Marshon Lattimore could be on the move. Now, sound off for me, everyone. Give me a dark horse blockbuster trade idea. Like, get weird, get crazy. I mean, send Patrick Mahomes to the Cowboys or something. I don't know. Like, have some fun with it. It's the offseason, and we want you guys to get crazy. Shout out to you guys for hanging out with us and watching today's video. We'll see you guys next time. Have a happy football.